Bring the whole squad. Where the mic's at? In the studio. Oh, it's like that. Conversations with the people like we ain't mad. Bro, like our peoples are pretty talented. We just need to harness that energy and like make some shit happen.
I can make it happen.
Mid-episode or probably new episode clap test.
All right, cool. All right, cool. We just took a little break and now we're back onto this. So right now we're gonna get onto like some topics of police brutality that we've experienced throughout our lifetime. Because people out here don't believe, because of all these numbers, that racism don't exist. So we're just gonna go through some of our experiences with like some slight police incidences and other racial incidences.
Systematic racism.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, so
Want to set it off, or you want me to set it off?
You want to?
Y'all seem like y'all better stories.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
Paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, best 2 out of 3.
Okay, 2 out of 3.
Oh.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, okay. This one's for the real winner.
This one, yeah. All right, last one. Ready?
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. Why y'all scissors first?
Yeah, always scissors.
Always scissors, bro. Like y'all like some Aries or something.
No, I should have known his tactic. It was scissor, paper, rock.
Just know.
I was like,
That's his tactic.
saw that, I'm like,
Everybody is
well, okay.
scissor, paper, rock.
Just know, bro. Like I will always beat niggas in rock paper scissors, bro. Like I'm that psychology, bro. Like I know what you're doing.
It's intense. All right.
All right, then.
Start with your story.
All right. So this actually happened back in 2016. Yeah, 2016. I was going. It
Summer
was
16.
No, Summer 16 was the time to be alive. I was actually driving from Palm Beach State College, going back up to where I live in PSL, where traffic flow was heavy. It was really heavy. I wasn't speeding or anything like that. However, there was a cop in front of me. I'm assuming he just got off of his shift. But anyway, I was starting to merge into the far right lane. Yeah, that's the fast lane, right?
Mm-hmm. No, the far left.
Left lane. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting confused where I'm at. But I was merging into the far left lane, going back north. There we go. Going back north, and all of a sudden, like, there's a cop in front of me, so I'm following him. So I see, so you know, like when you have a cop in front of you and you're behind the car, it's like, you can't run my tags. So
stupid. So is you dumb, stupid, or dumb? Huh?
Seriously. So I'm just driving and I'm cruising. So he gets over because traffic is starting to slow down in that lane. So I'm like, well, shoot, let me get over. So I get over to the right lane. And he merges. He's already there, and we're still driving. So he pulls out in front of me, and he pulls over to the right. I'm still going this way. So I'm just going. I'm just driving. So by the time I hit Jupiter's exit, he pulls to the left lane, and he pulls right behind me. So he pulls up behind me, and he turns on his lights. So I'm like, dang, why is this guy pulling me over for? Was I speeding? I was like, no, I'm doing 70. You know, speed limit is like 70.
65, honestly, it's 65. So.
70.
if you're a true Floridian, it's really 80. It's really 80. Come on, bro.
So he pulls me over. So I'm like, all right. I pull all the way over to the
right.
to there we go.
Shoulder.
Yeah, to the shoulder. So I get out. So I pull all my windows down and everything. So I'm thinking like, okay, he wants my license, registration, whatever. So I have all that stuff ready. Like that's the first thing that I always go to. I roll windows down, all 4 windows down, license, registration, hands at the wheel. That's the first thing.
All 4?
I do.
Why all 4?
So we can see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He always has tinted windows, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Smart man.
Bam. You already know. You know how to do it. So my windows are down and everything. So the cop doesn't come up to the car, but he calls me out. He says, "Sir, please exit the vehicle." I'm like, oh shit, like this is
real.
Yeah, like I've never experienced that in my life. Like I experienced like getting pulled over, like, oh sir, you know, I'm pulling over, speeding, blah blah blah. Yes, I have a heavy foot. I'm always going at least 80 to 90.
Of course. Because you be driving too, so like it just becomes a custom.
It does. But he tells me to get out the car and everything, so I'm like, I get out the car, so I'm like, I just grabbed my license and registration with me just in case, he might need it. But I'm like, why he calling me out for? He's like telling me on the microphone, can you come to my vehicle, sir? Can you come to my vehicle? I'm like, and now remind you, we're on I-95. Traffic is flowing. His door is open. My car door is open, and everything's in my car. So I get to his car
Did he make you like walk backwards or like just?
No, he just told me to walk. So I'm just walking there. I'm watching him watching me. Like we both watching each other. So, he tells me, sir, you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm really confused. He was like, why are you tailgating me? I'm like, I'm not tailgating you. He's like, you are tailgating me. He's like, every lane change that I did, you did the same maneuver. I was like, you changed one lane. I only changed one lane. And I still kept going while you changed the other lane. He was like, see, this is why black people get killed all the time. Like he's
Was
like,
he white?
yeah.
Oh god.
He was like, do you have a problem with me? He's like, I'm just trying to go home. I'm like, what? Where's all this? Where's all
this energy? You want to talk about it, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
so I'm just like kind of confused, trying to figure out what's going on. So he's like just talking and yelling, and he's saying, you know what? This is why people hate police. This is why black people have an assumption against police, and
Because you're pulling me.
Yeah,
over
right.
for
As
no
you're
reason.
pulling me
Yeah,
over, you're
right.
telling me about what police
like,
do
bro,
to
like
me.
Right.
you probably would have never known what race he was until like this whole like
I did
encounter
it.
happened.
Honestly, I was literally just following the flow of traffic. That's it.
Yeah, G shit. That's all it is.
So by the time like we get done and everything, he's like, I'm gonna let you off this time with the warning. I was like, it seems like you're off though. Can you still do that?
Yeah.
But look, I ain't saying nothing. I'm just trying to be like, okay. He was like, all right, have a good day, sir. I'm like, okay. So I get back in my car. I wait till he gets back in his car and he leaves the area first because I wanted to make sure that I'm not tailgating him. So I went the turnpike and I saw this dude kept pressing onto I-95. So I was like, that was the craziest encounter I ever had besides like the one time I was at the park and I was trying to fish and the police asked me, do I have a fishing license? I was like, nah. But other than that, like, that was the craziest story I ever had. And it
That's the police talking about why.
no, literally. Like, what? Like, it just threw me off, man. I was like, that was the most scariest thing I ever been through due to the fact that, like, you do see black people, they get killed over things like this. And we're on, like, I-95 and traffic is heavy. Yeah. So I don't feel safe getting out of my car at all. Like, I don't mind pulling over. Like, anytime I ever get pulled over by the police, I always make sure I'm always out of traffic.
Yeah.
And making sure they're out of traffic as well, because I have regard for human life. You know, I'm not trying to make sure, like, they get hit as well. But, hey, what you got, JoJo? Hey, tell us about that time you got.
One time, you know.
So, what had happened was, I had taken a trip with my best friend. We drove up. Well, I took a train. From West Palm all the way up to Savannah, Georgia. Damn. Right. I took a train. It was nighttime. It was a really great ride. I didn't have no complaints. And then from there, you know, we like to road trip. So we road tripped up. You know, we took some tours. Her mom had a condo in D.C., so we chilled in D.C. for a little bit. It was a really great experience. We were throwing my sister a surprise 40th at, in New Jersey. And I had a flight the next day. So mind you, took a train up, road trip the rest, and now I'm here in New Jersey. So I had a flight the next day for LaGuardia early, like 7 a.m. So I get my cousin up early. We go to the airport. I got some food. Yo, thank God. To this day, I literally say, yo, thank God you told me to go to Dunkin' Donuts and get a freaking croissant sandwich. Because after that, you know, I was going through TSA and, you know, they were checking my backpack. And before, I didn't have a car for a little moment, so I was always taking public transportation.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, if you don't know what South Florida public transportation like, it's really fucking long. It's tedious, and sometimes that shit's always late, and there's definitely a lot of weird people that take those modes of transportation.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know, I'm at TSA. Yeah. I'm at TSA and she's like, oh, is this your backpack? I'm like, yes, my backpack. And usually, like, I've been flying since I was 6. You know, my parents are divorced, so I'm always back and forth to New York. Like, it's never a problem. I love the airport. The airport's my favorite place in the world.
I bet.
Yeah. So, yeah, so she's like, yeah, is this your bag? I'm like, yeah, this is my bag. You know, is there anything? She, no, we're just going to put it through the scanner one more time. No problem. White lady. Yeah, good, whatever. So she puts it through the bag again. She's like, ma'am, I'm going to need you to take a seat. We're going to have to inspect this bag. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. Like, let me think about what's in this bag now. My cousin, you know, one of my cousins gave me like a nice little fresh roll that I was gonna smoke in the floor. I was like, you know, maybe it's weed. I was like, but weed doesn't show up on the scanner, so like, think bigger, Jay. Like, what is this? You know? And then I remembered that I had a taser. I had a taser in my backpack because that's my everyday backpack that I use to take public transportation. Before I had an experience where a man exposed himself to me on the train.
Geez.
And we were the only 2 people on the train. It was like the last train out, and I just didn't feel comfortable after that. So I felt like I needed something. You know, one of my friends got me a taser, and I was like, wow, you know, like this is a really great, you know, thing. Like I've never had to use it, but you know, it does make me feel comfortable to hold something.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Right.
So I was like, actually, you know, there's a taser in the front zipper backpack. You know, I'm not from here. I took a train up here. You know, I had no idea it was in here. This is a big misunderstanding. She's like, okay, ma'am, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Hold, please. Go ahead and take a seat. So I take a seat. I call my best friend who's in the Army. And I also call her mom, who is very high up. Very, very high up in a very high position in government.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me call my resources. I was like, yo, Sharonda, I'm about to go to jail. Like, I need you to read me my rights. Like, read me my rights right now. Like, what are my rights right now? She's like, what? What are you talking about? She gets her mom on the phone. I was like, I'm about to go to jail. Like, I need somebody to read me my rights. And, you know, I just remember, like, going back to the TSA desk, and I'm like, listen, this is a very, because Sharonda's mom is white. So she was like, listen, just tell them this is a big misunderstanding. Like, they should be able to let you go and you'll still be able to catch your flight. And I'm like, hey, this is a big misunderstanding. This is a big misunderstanding. I've never done anything bad in my life. Like, this is just completely a big misunderstanding. Like, I have no idea. You know, I understand that this is really bad, but you guys can hold on to that. I just need to go back home. You know what I mean? Like, my whole family is in New Jersey at this house for my sister's birthday party. So nobody is aware that, like, I'm about to go to jail right now. So
over here just like, yeah, where's the
she's like, okay, man. She's like, okay, just go ahead and take a seat for us. Yeah, I'm sure this is a big misunderstanding, but, you know, we've got to go through protocol. So, you know, I see 3 cops pop up, 5 cops pop up.
Oh, God.
10 cops pop up.
Exponential growth.
10 cops pop up. And then at that point, I'm like, oh, like, I'm literally, like, about to shit myself. Oh, my God. You know? And they're just like, yeah, like, we're going to have to detain you. We're going to have to detain you because this is considered a handgun at an airport.
What?
That's the same thing I said. I was like, there's no way. I was like, this is a big misunderstanding. This is a big misunderstanding.
Wait,
a purple taser. Okay?
No, it's not the
like,
does it fire
it's
prongs?
Not even,
Yeah.
Does it fire the prongs?
no,
It just zaps?
If I don't
Like-
come to physical contact
Oh
with
my
you,
God.
it does nothing. If I just like, it's gonna do nothing. This is just electricity in the air. There's nothing unless I touch you. There's nothing I could do. You know what I mean?
God.
So I'm like, listen, this is a really big misunderstanding. Like, I had no idea of this. Like, you know, I used to live in the state of New York. I should know the city rules. I apologize. This is a big misunderstanding. Please, like, do not detain me.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, ma'am, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go. So I get arrested. This is my first time ever in jail.
Jesus Christ.
And
They
I'm
handcuff you and everything?
experiencing- They handcuffed me and everything in the airport.
Jeez.
So embarrassing. So embarrassing now that I think about it. But
Oh, that is embarrassing.
yeah.
Everybody's just watching.
Everybody's just
you.
watching me like, yo, this terrorist.
Right, G shit, bro. Like, thank God I didn't get into a fight with her.
Look at her.
there's some
like, oh my
racists out there
God.
just probably just going like, yeah, there it is.
I knew it was her.
Was gonna break into
I knew
cockpit.
she was
just
gonna be the next job.
That's the girl.
Get that female Malcolm X out of here.
Yeah, power to my people. But so yeah, I ended up going to jail, and my jail experience was absolutely terrible. I spent 15 hours in jail.
Damn.
Yeah, I spent the whole day. It was literally like I got to the airport at 7 a.m. I was in jail by 7:20 something.
Oh, you spent. Did you get a meal?
It was terrible.
Did you get your meal, though?
Yeah, I got the most stale peanut butter and jelly I've ever had.
Wow.
It was either between a stale, I don't even know if it was actual turkey and cheese or a stale
It was just past
peanut butter and
prisoners.
jelly. Yeah. And then the fruit were like like even fruit, like you couldn't even get decent fruit. Like give me a rotten orange compared to like this unripe, tangy, nasty. Like you couldn't even peel it. Like they really don't feed their people. They really don't care.
Wow.
So
It's torture.
yeah, I spent a good 12, 14 hours. Maybe 15 hours is too much, but definitely 12 to 14 hours. And then after that, they had trials going on all night long, which was crazy. And I was called next. And it was just a crazy experience. There was so many other women in there who were in there for different things or like...
Do you know what happened? Like, what was the outcome of like your trial? Like when you was talking to
I got the case dismissed, luckily, because I have a cousin who's also in high places. And my cousin knew the prosecutor for the government.
Of course, you always need people in high places.
It's like, this isn't my cousin, this is just a mistake, you know? And then
But
I'm like, oh, okay.
is that like... Is that like an actual thing that like if you have like a taser or like a non-prong taser?
Yes, that
like,
is considered a handgun. Please do not do it.
That is.
Yes,
Considered
that
a handgun.
I have no idea. I have no idea how it's considered a handgun. All I know is...
I mean, unless
My
you like
ass,
literally
my
throw it at
ass.
someone.
Yeah,
But
but even if you throw it at somebody, like, you've got to hold the button.
That's so unfair.
You
Though.
gotta come in contact.
That's so unfair though, because
That'd
like
be considered a knife.
Yeah.
More than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Literally.
A melee
It's more like,
weapon.
yeah, it's definitely like a melee weapon. Like you can't like guns fire things. Like
I
come
don't
on.
understand why women
Yeah.
can't hold like that goes back to the whole rapist thing. Like
Exactly.
Like I don't understand. Like women need to protect themselves. as well.
Themselves, yeah. Honestly, because the
And
system's
since then,
clearly not going to
since then,
protect
I haven't
themselves.
held anything, but it still scares me because it's like, I mean,
Fuck
I'm
the
glad I'm
TSA.
not taking public transportation, but it's just like, damn, like it really shows like even as a mistake, even as an error, it's like women cannot protect themselves.
No,
Nope.
no, it's disgusting. Yeah.
Nah, fuck that.
Oh my god, bro.
That's why you get knife shoes.
Nice shoes.
Like fucking KGB.
Like that.
just,
Oh my god.
What's it called? Like that Wild West shit.
I was
Like when
thinking about that, too.
Will Smith, bro, just like knife a nigga. Oh my god! But like I've never experienced like systematic discrimination. At least not that I can.
Remember?
Yeah, exactly. Because like I'm pretty sure like
I don't know. I've been called the monkey at one point.
No, like I get like all those type of things. Like I always just like like just repress back into my memory because like there's like so much that I'm just like whatever, bro. I just not whatever, but like I gotta think about the positive. But there is one issue, one incident. It was like nothing ever like with a system, but it was just like people itself. I remember I went to a Sonics one time and I had this rental.
Fuck Sonics. Like, first and foremost, fuck
Fuck
Sonics.
Sonics. They don't even skate anymore, bro.
Dude,
Like people
they
be
don't?
walking out. I'm
No,
like,
no.
all right, what's the fun of this?
It takes like 15 minutes for them to
Yeah.
like get to your order.
Damn, that's
Think
so
about it.
sad. Aw.
Sorry, not to interrupt you with the hate of Sonics.
No, you're good. You're good.
That's so sad. I'm really upset about that.
Yeah. That was their gimmick, and they don't even do it anymore.
Damn.
And they got rid of like half their menu, so it sucks now.
Wow, I haven't eaten at Sonic. Honestly, I haven't eaten fast food in like a long time.
I haven't eaten at Sonic since like high school. Like
Oh yeah,
that was like high school type food for
good old
me
days.
and whatnot.
For high school. Dang, I remember high school so much. That was a great time.
Oh,
Which was so funny because our high school was pretty diverse.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
I don't really see a problem with like me personally. I don't have a problem with anybody, especially people who say I don't see color. I can't stand those type of people.
Nah, like
'Cause-
that's just ignorance right there.
Yeah, because honestly, if you can't see color, you're just colorblind at that point.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be able to drive. So,
Right.
but hey, I'm to each their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, and that's like that's part of like a weird issue for like like I feel like anybody living in a multicultural like environment, growing up in a multicultural environment, because I've always been treated well by like any race for the longest time growing up. My neighborhood is predominantly like Cuban and white. Like I can specifically say Cuban because like I know those guys. Like, they're Cuban. I know them, and like white. So like they've treated me well. So I've never like thought of white people as just ever being like just discriminatory ever in my life. Because my elementary school was nice, middle school was nice, and high school was high school. It wasn't bad, but
it's a form of like overcorrecting and like almost fantasizing, getting over the problems,
Understood.
If you don't see, saying you don't see color is only one aspect, but you have to recognize the differences and the impact they have on the world,
Right. I remember some guy I was watching like a YouTuber saying that like it's really like again ignorant to say that because it's like saying that like like if you see a woman and you're just like if somebody asks you like was that like if you go in and see a cashier and you're just like was that cashier a male or female and he was just like I don't know I don't see gender like that's like the same thing bro. But then again in this day and age bro sometimes that just could be like it's ma'am. Like
right.
Remember you're saying it's ma'am.
There's like a SNL skit or YouTube skit where I think it had like freaking Keel.
Oh really? Which one?
Oh god.
Keel. What is it? Jordan and Keel?
Yeah. No, not Jordan Keel. Oh god, it's the guy who was on Nick at Night. And like all that.
Keenan.
Wow, she came out great.
Damn.
Okay, JoJo.
But there was like this whole skit, like they were at a supermarket, and they were, one person was asking about like this certain employee, and she was like, yeah, he was a guy, had dark hair. You can see like most employees have like are guys and have dark hair and about like 6 foot and they're all about the same and she just keeps going overboard just trying not to say the black one.
It's so funny, bro.
That's funny. Saturday Night Live kills me with their skits. That's funny.
Yeah. So, what was your experience at Sonic's?
It was just so I had my rental, right? So like, and I seen my peoples in the drive in the parking lot. So I'm like over here, like trying to reverse back because I passed them, and I just had dinked like just slight dink this female. Like it was nothing bad. We go out, there's no damage, and it's just like it's fine, this and that, it's all good. And then like just these Caucasian individuals all the way like to the end. they just happen to see this and they were just like, good going, Tyrone. I'm like, who the fuck are you calling Tyrone, bro? Like, and like like they're just in their like lifted up truck, just out there, and like they use like just these intimidation tactics, like trying to like scare me. I'm like, yo,
all right,
like
Ned.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I'm one person, bro, but you guys don't scare me. And like, cause like again, like my peoples were there, so I'm like, y'all ain't gonna scare me.
Hey,
bro.
look, this is why I keep that thing on me locked and
yeah, no, exactly, like
Hey, you gotta be ready, be strapped, stay strapped.
I honestly thought it was like the end. No, I want to eventually.
My experience, I'm gonna just sit here.
Hey, just don't take it to the airport.
Exactly, don't take it to the airport. Get your
accident.
Get your carry. Get your
time and place.
Concealed carry.
Exactly.
But like when we left, like I thought it was like over then and there, like at the Sonics, but like they trailed us.
What?
Like they trailed me. Like I was like, why? Like what? Like why do you guys like just leave me alone? They trailed me. Like we got to like Lake Worth and Military. And then like they got in their motorcycle and then they just tapped the rear end of my rental. I'm sitting here like, these guys really just followed us. And then like they took off through the intersection.
Oh, you should have called me.
Oh yeah, you're gonna come down from Port and St. Lucie, but like it's not like they didn't keep following us.
I was about to.
That's crazy though.
No.
Did you hear the sound of their gravity defying schlong as they followed you?
Yeah,
like
literally.
20 of them.
Bro, like it's just it's so upsetting, bro, because like I was saying, but like I was talking about like growing up in a multicultural like neighborhood, like I'm like always nice to everyone, but now like with these situations, like it makes me just kind of have to like like think of,
Tiptoe
yeah, exactly. I have to be very cautious because, like I'll never know when people are just, like looking at me to be genuine or just looking at me just thinking like, wow, like what is this person doing here? Like especially like, where I work, Drive Shack is a very diverse, place. People of all ethnicities come in that. So, like with that too, like people can come in and just like, give like false reports of just like, me being rude or something like that. Just because they want to, like you saw that one like incident with that Amy Cooper lady.
Oh,
yes.
Wait, what happened?
There's so this bird watcher, like this just white woman with her dog and like a black
such
bird
a white
watcher.
activity.
She was at a park. She was at a point in the park where she was supposed to have her dog on the leash because that was a section of the park that was devoted to people who
and that's a law.
Want to watch birds. You know what I mean? If you have your dog not on a leash, of course the dog is gonna run after the bird. Like, so she didn't have her dog on the leash. There was a black man there, and he was watching the birds. He was just asking her, "Hey, could you put your dog on a leash because I'm trying to watch the birds?" And she took it to
a whole she went like Karen Super Saiyan, bro, like Super Saiyan God. She was just like out here, like, bro, like there was like clear distance between them two, and she kept coming up to him just like, I'm gonna call the police on you. I'm gonna say there's a black man. Like
Stop
she literally, she's saying like, I'm gonna call the cop and saying that there's an African American man.
Oh my God.
She's using that as a threat
on the phone, like, I don't know. There's just somebody threatening me. It's a black man threatening me
while she's choking out her dog.
That was good.
No, that was good. That was really
while
good.
she's choking out her dog.
Her dog's over
you
here like
put
happy
the
as
dog on the
fuck,
leash
bro.
from the beginning, and instead you are still
Some
like
people.
choking the dog. You can hear the dog crying in the background, and it's like, I feel bad for the dog right now.
The dog's over here just trying to get
really
down.
did.
The dog's watch out, please. I was just trying to breathe, bro. But
It was bad.
Dude.
yeah, like
bad.
the mayor. I don't know if this is gonna actually happen or not.
My
But
guy.
yeah, he wants to pass a law called like the Amy
De
Cooper
Blasio.
law, saying that like if
Not the Amy Cooper law.
Yes, the Amy Cooper law.
Yeah, Amy Cooper law. He wants it
It's
to be
illegal
named
to
after
call
her.
911. He
Yeah.
wants it to be named after her, and I think that's a great idea because people need to learn.
Exactly.
People need to learn from their
'cause
experience and let your experience be a life learning lesson for everybody.
Yeah, because
Do not
calling the
call
police,
us.
like when there's a difference when you call the police on somebody who's not doing anything and somebody who is actually doing something.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
What is that called?
You're crying wolf.
Exactly. There you go.
And like that, that's like the fact that she knew what she was doing. Like she
she knew what she was
She
doing.
was threatening him like, I'm gonna say
I'm going to call the
African American,
police, and I'm gonna tell them you're threatening.
Yeah, I was like, what the
Yep,
fuck,
that's her.
bro? Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Was this her?
bro, yeah, that's
No, this
No,
this
no,
that's
is
the
the one.
that's like the original Karen.
That's the
like,
one. That's the original Karen from the barbecue.
Yeah.
She called. Oh no. Was she the one from the barbecue?
No, she's the one who threatened to call the police on an 8-year-old black girl for selling wine.
water.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
that one
god!
too.
Look up
Dang.
Amy Cooper. Like that's her name.
It's crazy how like these
Maybe
things
not
happen. Like
shit.
it like it just it blows my mind, boy. Let somebody try me with that. Boy, they gonna catch a 1 and a 2.
Wait,
boy.
hold on.
Oh,
Dog
yeah.
returned to white woman who called police on black man bird watching in
She
Central
shouldn't
Park.
get that dog back.
Yeah, no,
Oh
no,
my
they took the dog away
Look
from
at
her.
that picture.
Yeah, it's so horrible,
Yeah.
bro. I
And
felt so
literally,
bad
like,
for the dog.
You see the dog like literally doing a
Yeah.
360 to like get away
Yeah.
from her.
Didn't she have to
She's
get the dog back or
She
something
had to
like
give
Yeah,
the
that?
she
dog,
had to give the dog
and
back.
the shelter was like, "Listen, we
She
did
got-
not know she was this type of person." Like the
course not.
shelter had to come out
She-
and be like, "Hey, we did not know."
She
this."
got fired from her job. She was like a good position at a bank or
Yeah, something
something.
like that.
No, and that's what they all need. I think racist people need to like be exposed. Just
No,
because,
exactly.
Yeah, you can go ahead and say anything you want, freedom of speech, but that is not right. Like it's not right.
They're
Go ahead.
No, they're pandering to like what they know is like a systematic problem that like, hey, if I call like this type of BS on these individuals, I know I'm gonna get like the results I want because
Yeah.
like I know that's how the
Yeah.
system works. Like,
Exactly.
Like
And even if
they
you
know
don't
it.
find it that, like, you know, sometimes like they come out with apologies. Multiple Karens have come out with apologies, like, I didn't know it was gonna be this bad. It's like,
Oh
girl,
my god, bro!
you are older. If you are older than 30 years old, I feel like you know. You should know.
No, like white,
should know.
white
Actually,
women
growing
know
up
their
in the
position.
80s,
Actually,
and
I'm
you're
gonna
like-
tell you guys something real quick. Okay, so at my last job, should I say can I say my last job? Should I say it?
No,
I'm
no,
not-
no, don't say it, don't say it. That seems like a lawsuit just in case. We know what it is.
So at my
Phone
last
company.
job, but at my last job, I work for a telecommunication company, Oh, that was great, right?
That was a good one.
Bam. Hey, that's me up. So I work for a telecommunication company, and my manager, at the time, she said something along the lines of like niggas get money. Yeah, so she said in the text message because we had a group chat.
What
at
was
work.
she? She was white? Or
Yeah.
like Spanish?
No, so she was a white.
NGM, man. NGM.
So I'm on break. I'm on break in my car at the time. Like I'm just chilling because that's what I used to do. Clock out, go to my car, take a nap, chill for a little bit, go back inside. So I'm seeing all these text messages like from because we had a group chat with the managers and then we had a group chat with just the employees. So the employees, one of the reps is like, "Yo, did she really just say nigga? And did she really just say that?" I'm like, what's going on? So I'm like reading through the chat. He was like, yo, she really did just say that. Everybody's like, yo, what is Dimitrius gonna say? I'm like, what's going on? So I'm reading. So as I get through the text message, so she's talking about like she's quoting I think she was quoting Lil Wayne, but she was saying like niggas get money or something like that. And my
She
manager
even put the quotations on there.
No, she
Nah.
did not. She knew what she was doing.
Nah, so I'm reading through the text
To quote
message.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah, so I'm just reading the text message, and so she's like going in, and I'm like, who is niggas? So like that's literally that's what I said. She said niggas getting money, so I'm like, who was niggas? So like I'm trying to figure out like who niggas she's calling out. So she didn't say nothing. So nobody said nothing. So I'm just like, all right. So I'm trying to chill out because I still got my work
gotta
shit.
go back.
Yeah. So I'm just waiting, but nobody's saying nothing. So I'm like, all right, well, my break is over. So let me go back inside, see what's going on. So I walk back in the store and I'm just like, so my boss looks at me and I look at her and she's like, she didn't say nothing. I was like, you good? So she's like, so, bro, that's the fastest I've ever seen her run out the store. Like, she picked up her stuff. Like, not even an hour went by, but she picked up her stuff and she left. And then at the end of the day, like, my the oldest rep we had, he's like in his 50s, and he's like telling me, he's like, I'm from the Bronx, D. I'm white. He was like, even I know we don't say. He's like, even I know you don't say shit like that. So I'm like, bro, like, did she really just say that? So I'm like trying not to get upset or anything like that. It could have been easily disputed if she would have like just came in, like just said like, yo, D, I didn't mean to come at you like that. I didn't mean to come at to anybody like that. I was just quoting a song. But no, she did not do that. You know what she did instead?
What?
She packed up her stuff and she left.
She stayed
pussied
silent,
out.
bro.
Yeah.
She stayed silent.
Like, I
That
gotta
speaks
go
volumes.
now.
So let me tell you, because this shit get deep. This shit
Oh
got-
shit! Oh no!
Yeah, so as like the day goes by, well, after that shift ended, my manager calls me because I called my manager. My manager's black, like the store manager's black. I'm sorry, let me clarify. The assistant manager has said nigga. The store manager is black, and she's like, D, you okay? I'm like, are you not okay? 'Cause I'm like, I'm confused on why we letting this slide. Like, I'm confused. She's like, no, D, I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna take care of it. She's like, it's not right for her to say something like that, especially in a group chat, especially when there's like 3 other black people in the chat. I'm like, all right, if you don't handle it, I'm gonna handle it, and I ain't gonna handle it like HR.
Like, get the news crew on here, bro. Like, I'm gonna
Like-
expose everyone.
Like one thing about me is I'm not gonna take it up with HR. I'm gonna take it up with you first, and then if I have to escalate it that way, then I'll take care of it. But I'm gonna be professional.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you
Exactly. I'm
gotta
gonna
do.
be very upfront. So, nah, she wasn't working the next day, so she got lucky.
Oh.
So everybody's just talking about it and communicating about it. Me, I'm just like, I'm still waiting for this one-on-one, this apology. But all right, well, it's day 2. So fast forward, day 3, me and her working. We had a meeting that day. So I'm furious. I'm like, I'm like, bro, like, she's still not talking. She's still letting it slide. Like, nobody wants to talk about this. I'm confused on why she is like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
So I'm just getting heated. I get so furious, bro. I ended up walking out of the meeting. And my manager is like, Dimitrius, where you going? I'm like walking out of the meeting. I didn't care what she said. I just walked right out, bro. My manager comes and talks to me. She's like, D, it's okay. You know, I get it. She don't understand. I'm like, but you are store manager. Why are you not handling it? She's like, you think I can't? You think I don't like? I have to be professional. I was like, and I understand. You know, we have to hold ourselves accountable because as an average black person, we're predominantly aggressive. We get agitated. We're what is it? We're thugs.
Yeah.
You know. So I was like, all right, Sam. I was like, all right, you don't have to edit that part out. I was like, I almost did. I was like, all right, thanks. I was like, all right, if you're gonna handle it, you're gonna handle it. So anyway, I walked back in the store. After the meeting, my assistant manager says, y'all, everything's kind of being kind of awkward because everybody in my store, it was a minority. Like, nobody was white.
Yeah.
Like, everybody in my store was either black or Spanish, and we had like one white guy, which is he's still my friend, and he's like in his 40s. cool ass dude. But anyway, she's like, it's awkward. I don't feel comfortable. You guys, like, can we just, like, I'm sorry for what I did, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear no bogus ass apology at the end of the day. Like, you're not being sincere. Like, like, it comes, like, you can tell when somebody's being genuinely sincere.
Oh, yeah.
And when somebody's just like, okay, well, this is awkward. Guys, I'm sorry. Can we be friends again? Like, no, get that shit out of here.
The issue.
Yeah, exactly. So my manager pulled us aside and put us in the office. This is the thing she said to me. She said, hey, look, D, I'm sorry. You know, I grew up in Fort Pierce. I'm like, oh, shit.
Like,
Here it is.
Now, if y'all not
My
familiar,
boyfriend let me.
right. So I'm like, if y'all not familiar with Fort Pierce is, it's like the city of Rivera Beach
It's next to Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, so it's like you have Stewart, which is predominantly white people. You have Port St. Lucie, which is like millennials and people like in their 40s and 50s, kind of like a very diverse area. Then you have Fort Pierce, which is part of Port St. Lucie, but hey, they're Fort Pierce. It's like Rivera. So it's predominantly black people.
Yeah.
So she's telling me like, I grew up in Fort Pierce, you know, like I was surrounded by a lot of black people. I grew up in the trailer park with black people, you know, and I just felt comfortable around you guys. I'm like,
That means nothing.
yeah, I'm like, bro, that's not okay. Like, you can't say stuff like that. Like, regardless of where you're from or who you with, like, it's not okay. Because if it's not me, like, I'm going to tell you, like, it might be the next person who going to swing on you. And
exactly.
And I like my job. So I'm not going to be that person. Like, I get it. Like, it slipped. But that wasn't the first time I heard it. I heard like she did it again. Like this was her second time. Yeah, and that's why she left one store to another store to a different store. So like I've been hearing all these
she
things.
got a history, and then she's just gonna blame it because she lived in Fort Pierce.
Yeah, and guess what her favorite song was?
What?
Nigga, 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 nigga,
Oh
nigga.
my god, bro.
Yeah, so that was her favorite song. So I was like, bro, I cannot. I was like, I'm done, bro. So I packed my bags and I was like, you know, I gotta find something better for myself.
Yeah, that's good.
How brain dead do you have to be to not recognize the brutality in that word? You know?
I don't know. And that's the thing. Like, I get it. Like, I understand why people say like, well, why can't we use it? And like, black people took that word back because like if it's a self of empowerment.
Exactly.
Like we own that word.
Yeah,
now.
we turned it from something
Negative
into a term of endearment for ourselves, and that's all it is.
It's the same concept that goes like you can pick on your sibling all you want, but as soon as someone else, like
picks on your
Just
sibling,
yeah.
like exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, also I gotta give.
I am allowed to pick on my sister.
Yeah. Also, I gotta give a shout out to Glenn. This is great.
All right.
This is really great. I've been sipping on this
Whiskey
thing,
Brothers.
and this is great.
This is really nice. I'm the sweet tea
Fucking
fan.
cheers, bro!
Yeah.
Cheers to the clean
Cheers.
air.
My empty glass.
Glenn finished this. I'm so glad.
Oh man. No, but yeah, it's disgusting out here. Like, there's just too many people in positions where they think like that, and they either think it's like okay, and they don't even care. They don't even think that it's okay. They're just in positions where they're supposed to be leaders, but they don't they don't conduct themselves well.
Do you? Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna. It reminded me. Like, I used to work in the school district. So I work. I'm not gonna not name drop, but I used to work in a certain school, and then I remember, the school was primarily, I guess, white Hispanic, but more upper class.
Yeah.
But my one friend, she was the assistant director, and she was Spanish, and she was very she was very white passing Spanish, because she was very fluent in English. So not a lot of people thought that she could speak Spanish or anything like that. So a lot of sometimes the Spanish teachers would be just saying something in Spanish negatory to I worked after school, and a lot of the staff were African American, so and we like to eat Haitian food and whatnot, and so
shout out to Haitian food.
Yeah, bro,
Hey, I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, it
Y'all
slaps.
food- y'all
bro, it
culture food
slaps.
slaps.
Bro, people hate on Haitian food
There's
because
a
they hate on
place
Haitian
around here. It's pretty
bro.
good.
Yeah.
Haitian food is. I'm gonna just put that out there, but
What's
we
that?
can argue.
My favorite is y'all the black rice you guys.
Oh,
cook.
Bro, yes.
Jean-Jean.
Yeah.
Bro, y'all can argue this. Haitian food is the best Caribbean food, bro. Don't at me,
Okay,
bro.
yeah.
Don't at me, bro. Don't at me, bro. I know I tasted every single one of y'all's food, bro.
Exactly.
Our
It's
food
good and
slaps,
everything.
bro. Yeah, our food slaps.
I was gonna say Caribbean food. Yes, it's the best of those, but I still like Mexican food the best, man. Come on,
It's alright.
ain't gonna lie, bro.
Mexican food, it slaps though. But
For the Spanish, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's good.
if I had to choose between Mexican or my griot, I'm never thinking
I'm so
that.
pissed. Fucking Mexicans get tacos, Italians get fucking spaghetti, Haitians get that good fucking
The griot.
Yeah.
all that stuff. And what do white people get? We get meatloaf.
Yeah, you guys get
That's
sausage.
Hey, look,
and
black
whatnot.
people get soul food. Hey, shout out.
Yeah. But apparently, soul food's not good for black people. It's
Hey,
too
chill.
unhealthy. I'm just saying.
That's why it's
Hey,
good for the
okay.
soul,
Let's
not
go
for
for the
you.
soul.
that's right.
Bro, get that itis in you.
That's
Okay.
it. We don't eat it all the time, my guy.
That's how that once in a family reunion type. You know what? Let's celebrate. Who
That's
graduating
it.
right now?
That's it. Every celebration. That's it.
Oh man, but getting back to it, she had said some derogatory term thing in Spanish, thinking that the one
Yeah.
girl couldn't understand.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, and then she was just kid, yeah, pretty much, and then clap back at her in Spanish. But just situations like that where people, and this is just breaking into any this is not just going into only white people, because this is just ideologies, racist versus non-racist.
Yeah.
Those people who are in positions this is out of school.
You right.
Yeah.
This is out of school. You're over here with that mindset. What
People with influences.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. People with influences are in positions where they get to influence, what they think onto others.
To the
and-
youth.
Yes, and that's
it's crazy because
it's disgusting.
to piggyback on what he said, how I met him was through the school district, and I feel like it's crazy because that happens a lot.
yeah.
You wouldn't think that those teachers or those people are literally shit talking about these kids, and then me, I'm all about energy and if somebody doesn't like me, I don't even want to be in the same room.
Exactly.
Because,
Oh, no, I feel that,
I feel like the energy is passing through me, and I don't know if I'm just being over dramatic. I don't care, call it what you want.
No,
being
you're not.
overdramatic.
Yeah, you're not being
Call it
over
what you
dramatic
want,
at all.
But I just don't want to be in the same room with people that don't like me, because I know what it feels
Yeah.
like. So imagine these kids trying to get an education from trying to learn You know what I mean? Trying to be a better person. You are supposed to be influencing these kids to become a better person, educate them, influence them, and then you're literally talking shit in your mind and then expecting them to understand what you're saying. Expecting them to learn what you're teaching. Like, of course they can. Of course they can't focus. Of course they can't function. Like, you fucking talking shit in your head and you expect them to be like, oh yeah, I love you, kiss your ass.
No
way.
As much as you think that you're probably doing a great job of like deceiving,
and
like
you
hiding.
Probably are. You probably
to other like adults you probably are, but like to the kids, you're not gonna restrain that because like I'm not gonna lie, like they're like not like in a discriminatory way, but like there was like just some kids that just like irritated me. I just had a hard time just like hiding that, but like
there's always been times.
Yeah, there's always been times. Yeah, but it's not like like if you can't hide it from like kids understand that like, and like not even just kids, like everybody, like well at least people who can empathize with other people, like they understand when they're not like people can read and feel energies in the room, and if you can't, I apologize. Like
good for you. You could probably do a lot more in life if you can't feel other people's energies. You could be in a room with.
That's what you call a politician.
You could be honestly a successful politician and really
just say what you want.
Exactly.
It won't even matter.
But that's the thing. Like now, since we're going back into politics, but I'm gonna go ahead and address this. Since like, what is it like? People voted for Trump and they say, he's not your average politician. He's a businessman. He's going to run America
That's exactly
like
the
a business. So now we already know America is a business.
Yeah.
America is one of the biggest businesses in the world, next to China. And also, America is losing its power next to China. I'm very technologically inclined. Like I love technology. I love the way technology is booming. Things are things are just going from left to right. I like what Apple is doing, Samsung is doing. I don't discriminate.
I don't know, bro. Like,
I don't discriminate.
We need a slower roll, bro.
That's a conversation for another.
That Samsung phone and that fucking Apple computer, man.
Exactly. See, and I'm just like that. I have that mindset. When I used to work at the telecommunication company, I used to have like whatever was the best product available, not the trend. I think Apple is a trend.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's people who can't use, good interfaces.
And I get it. And
wow, y'all just gonna talk shit about me.
I am.
With
like,
my
bro,
Apple laptop and my iPhone.
y'all can make fun of Samsung quality. I'm sorry that you guys don't have.
Okay, look.
Don't even go there.
I'm not gonna talk about the quality. I'm just gonna say, look, Samsung makes great products when it comes to their phones and it comes to their TVs. I have a Samsung TV, 65-inch, right in my room right now. Beautiful, gorgeous, curved TV. Love it.
God.
Sorry.
You fell for the curve?
Yeah. Sorry. Look, I had to hold it at one point, so you have to wrap my arm. So I had to curve a little bit.
My God.
I like my TV with a little bit of curve. You got me? So, but it comes to like certain things like that. But going back to Trump, like I honestly feel like we have to do better. We just can't just sit around and twiddle our thumbs and hope that Black Lives Matter, we're gonna keep protesting.
Yeah.
We gotta actually start doing the work.
And go ahead.
I was gonna say earlier that voting is putting into action, but you still need to spread the idea around. That's
absolutely.
And that's why I think this come election, because I'm always an advocate, especially during the president election. Like, in my first time, I actually got the vote for Barack Obama within his second term. So I was really happy for that.
Jelly.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was happy for that because I was at that age. Like, I didn't know too much. Like, I didn't know too much about the president election during that time.
Right.
During that time, my parents had an influence on who I voted for. So they would say, vote for this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like my parents would be a vote Democrat, everyone Democrat.
Exactly. So, but now, like, since after Barack Obama, his term was done, and I actually had a voice, and I started to actually start following the people who are running and understanding, okay, like, who are they? What do they do? What have they done for their community? Like, in all honesty, if I had to pick somebody right now to run against run against Trump, I'd probably pick Jay-Z. Not because, not, and I'm not,
Deadass.
but I'm not just saying that, like, I'm not just saying that just to be funny or anything, but, like, I seen the effect that he have on other people and in his community. Like, he actually does
That's
work.
a real businessman right there.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, for real.
Right. He actually follows through on what he's going to do. Like, I actually think, he's a smart he's a smart man.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's smart. He's a smart businessman. He's reasonable. He's understanding. And I've never personally met the guy. It feels like I did, but just in the way, like the things that I read about him and making sure that I actually do the research and actually make sure like he actually has done these things. It to me, like he's a big influence on the music industry and he's a big influence in his community.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is the type of people like we need in government.
We need the
If I
white
could-
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
If I could,
Exactly.
if I could piggyback too, like like we were having like this conversation about like who we thought would be a good president as well. Like
Jay-Z 2020.
Yeah. I for me, like Jay-Z's a great idea, but for me as well, like if I had to like throw someone into a race, like after he retires, I would definitely consider LeBron James to be definitely someone who could fill in that realm as well. Because yes,
because
Vice President Joe.
Bro, that would be dope. Like, cause like you see, like LeBron has a spotless record. Like he is an exemplary, like just citizen, black, white, this, that. He's an example.
He's a
like,
really good example of a model citizen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he grew up, from nothing, and he made something of himself out of high school, and he managed to make all this, all this wealth for himself. You see, like the way his family is coming up too. Like his family is like a beautiful
and
family.
people who say that politics shouldn't play a role in sports or any other, like people who say, "Oh, stick to what you know."
Stick to
that
what
shit
you know.
Shut
is
up and
bullshit.
dribble.
That shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like regardless, I work at a bank, so you want to tell me, "Oh, you work at a bank, you shouldn't work in politics. You shouldn't deal with this. This is this is a mess."
Yeah.
That makes absolutely no sense. Those are those people who watch Fox News.
It never makes sense to me. Like,
One-track-minded.
why are we making like politicians like a separate profession? Like, I feel like our politicians should be, good genius-minded people like scientists, researchers.
They should know a little bit about everything.
Everything.
Because
That's how it
once
should
you
be.
get into that position, it's like you need to know everything. You're making executive decisions about.
Can we
do we need to have
can we
clause
have
on
Bill
climate
Nye run
change?
for
Bill Nye.
I heard he's kind of a dick.
no?
Gossip. I heard he's kind of a dick.
Really, I would be okay with it because
Same with-
honestly,
I mean, I heard
Black
Bernie.
Bill Nye.
I heard Bernie Sanders is a bit of a dick too. So
Neil Patrick Harris,
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, he kind of looks like a dick.
like, I seen like one of his podcasts with Joe Rogan, and that nigga just kept talking over Joe. I'm like, bro, shut up, bro.
He likes the sound of his own voice.
I'm just like, bro,
Listen.
shut up. But
the thing is, they know what they're talking
He
about.
has a good
I
voice,
would
though, I'm
much
not gonna lie.
rather. I would have much
I listen to
rather
him
one
all
of
day.
them
Yeah.
though than Poppy Trump.
Yeah,
That's
well,
crazy to me.
Why is it a job to be a career politician?
yeah, exactly.
Like,
it shouldn't be
You
that
need to
way.
have the experience, like you said.
Yeah,
I feel like being a politician should be kind of like a little side gig. You have
Yeah.
your own like main profession, but
Yeah,
like
what else do you
politician too.
contribute?
yeah, exactly. Like a politician, you should
Which is funny because it is on the lower level, and I'm not gonna front. Like I had a lady who came into my store when I was working on the telecommunication company. She came into the store and said I'd be a great candidate to run for whatever election was.
D for sheriff.
No. And I thought about it too. I was like, man, I could really have a great influence, but I was lazy at that time. I was working like from like 9 to like 9, so I was pretty like tired. I was exhausted. I was like, this ain't for me. But looking back at it, I really wish I would have called that lady and I could have made a big influence because change is necessary.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Yeah.
I think I might actually go back and do it. Cause
I think you should.
definitely.
I think you should.
I mean, listening to you, I'd follow you.
No, like exactly. Like people with good, beautiful minds. Like I feel like why not go for it? If we allow someone with like a mind like Trump to like be able to go in and just like curve everything, why not? Why not just have different minds out there, not just like a very stagnant, unempathetic mind. Like just have someone good ideology that just regular citizens could be able to just follow
Yeah.
and just be able to like what. Yes, I want to follow this guy and all that good stuff.
So,
Yeah.
with that, we have about 5 minutes left.
Cool.
Before we have to wrap it up.
Nice. I'm gonna say something real short
Yeah.
and sweet. Look, Black Lives Matter. Power to the beautiful black people, kings and queens, white people who are supporting Black Lives Matters. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shout out to all my Latinos brothers and sisters that are out there fighting for what's right and equal justices. You know what? Let's make America not great again, but let's make America beautiful. And let's just do it.
Wow, Dimitrius for president.
Dimitrius for president. Jerosha, would you like any comments?
I'd just like to say, go ahead and vote, please.
Vote.
You know, it doesn't matter what side you thought you were on or what side you are on. Please go and vote. Please look up the people that you're voting for. Please make sure that you're doing it the right way. And you know, let's fight the good fight because we're all one human race.
Damn.
You know?
Yeah.
Until the aliens come, we all the same.
Exactly.
you
What I'm
know?
saying.
Dead.
No, I'm telling you, I want to get into that right now, but we don't got
We
time
don't
for
got
that.
time. We don't got time.
Glenn,
I'm just gonna say,
you got
all
any
one
ending
human
words?
race, please.
I gotta say this was a fantastic podcast. Seeing some great
definitely
point of
fun.
views, and next time we'll get the skinheads in. We'll get.
No, see, I was gonna bring in that one guy with the number thing.
Yeah.
I invited him. I was like, no, bro.
No,
I'm like,
no.
people are tired of hearing that. Like, I'm like,
Well, it's like it's one thing to understand someone's philosophy and ideology, but it's another one to propagate it and promote it in this way.
Exactly, yeah.
But
My final words would be just make sure we got to keep fighting, you know, like we can't go back to normalcy. Like after all this is said and done, you know, after like whenever COVID finishes, whenever we start going back to whatever was normal, we can't go back to just thinking how we were and just like letting things just be the
not the
norm.
same.
We need like, you know, us, especially being millennials and like the next generations, like we really need to understand our positions and really take control of our lives and where we live at, because that is, we underestimate our stakes in this, and we are literally the future. So we make of it as we please. So just don't go back to thinking that like we have no power. We are the power. And
Wow.
yeah,
Change that. Woody for
Listen.
president. Woody for president.
nah, bro. I can't be like I'm too lazy, bro. I'll be vice president, bro. Like I'll be in the background, like I'll be vice, bro.
I got a little something to say before we wrap it up.
Go ahead.
I gave you your no.
Okay, sorry. I'm like, okay, you gave your speech. Okay, now I have to revamp mine. No, but so George Floyd is gonna always be dead now. So you're gonna have to make it so he's not dead in vain. You know,
Yeah.
him, Breonna
Taylor.
Ahmaud Arbery, and all those other, you know, slain people. And I'd like to take a moment just for them.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
And with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. And that was just another episode of Just Reset. Be well, go out and vote, and make a change, because you are the change.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Hey! Oh! There we go right there. Bye, 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 bye. Just Reset. Good shit, guys. Holy